The road stretched long and dusty beneath the blazing sun, winding between fields of wheat that swayed like a golden sea. Upon this road trudged a donkey, his head bowed low, his back bent beneath a heavy burden. Sacks of grain, stacked high and tied with rough rope, pressed down on his weary body until every step seemed to drag his hooves deeper into the earth. His ears drooped, his breath came in sharp bursts, and sweat matted his coarse fur. Just ahead, walking more gracefully and lightly, was a horse, sleek and strong, his coat gleaming in the sunlight. On his back, he carried nothing but a light saddle and a few empty baskets. He tossed his head proudly, his mane rippling, his hooves striking the ground with rhythm and ease. The donkey groaned as the road stretched uphill, his legs trembling beneath the weight. At last he called out, his voice raw. "Brother horse," he begged, "help me, I beg you. Share but one of these sacks. Lighten my load just a little, and I will endure the rest. My strength is failing, and I fear I will not last the day." The horse slowed, turning his proud head back toward the donkey. His eyes glittered, not with kindness, but with disdain. "Why should I bear your burden?" he said with a snort. "Each of us must carry what our master gives. It is not my fault that you are weak and I am strong. Carry your load as best you can, for it is not my concern if you falter." The donkey lowered his head in silence, a sigh rattling in his chest. With no choice, he staggered onward, his hooves slipping in the dust, his legs shaking under the merciless weight. The sun climbed higher, the road grew steeper, and the donkey's breaths came ragged and shallow. He stumbled once, then twice, and though he tried to push forward, his body at last betrayed him. With a final cry, he collapsed onto the road, the sacks of grain spilling to either side. His eyes fluttered closed, his chest rising and falling weakly, until at last he lay still. The master, who had been following behind, cried out in frustration. "Foolish beast! You could not carry what was yours!" He struck the donkey once in anger, but the animal did not move. The master sighed, shaking his head. "Then your load shall not vanish. It must be borne by another." And with that, he lifted the sacks one by one and fastened them onto the back of the horse. The horse reared, protesting, but the master forced him down with a sharp command. Soon the sacks that had crushed the donkey were piled upon the horse's back, along with the baskets and the saddle he had already carried. The weight bore down on him, heavier than anything he had ever felt. His proud stride faltered, his gleaming coat darkened with sweat, and his breaths grew harsh. He looked down at the donkey lying still in the dust and felt the sting of shame burn deeper than the sun. Step by step, the horse dragged himself along the road, his back aching, his legs trembling. The burden was unbearable, yet there was no escape. He had refused to help when he could have shared the weight, and now he bore it all. Every jolt of the sacks reminded him of the donkey's plea. Every stumble whispered the truth he had ignored. He remembered the donkey's voice, tired, desperate, begging only for a little mercy, and his own proud refusal. And now the load that might have been light for two crushed him alone. The journey to the market was long, and by the time they reached it, the horse was broken. His legs buckled, his sides heaved, and though he did not fall, his strength was spent. The master, satisfied only that the grain was delivered, left him tied in the sun, his back raw from the ropes. The horse lowered his head, too weary even to swat the flies that gathered around him. His pride was gone, his arrogance silenced. And so the story spread, told among farmers and whispered to children as they watched their animals toil, that those who refuse to share the burdens of others will one day find those burdens doubled on their own backs. For mercy withheld becomes a debt repaid in suffering, and selfishness breeds its own punishment. The horse, once proud and unyielding, learned the truth too late. But those who heard his tale remembered, better to offer a shoulder when asked than to carry the whole weight when it is forced upon you.